welcome to another episode of Goliath and Leviathan.
I'm Goliath.
And I am Leviathan, and now we're on episode 4. Jeez, this is just breezing by quick, huh?
It's really going.
So we're doing good, though. I think we're doing all right. You know, still a bit of work to do, things to work through, more topics to go over, but... You know, last one we talked about MGTOW, a little bit about feminism. It was kind of a little bit of both. We'll get more into that later, but this episode...
Talking about socialism. And if Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders got elected, oh boy, we'd be in trouble with socialism in this country.
I mean, a lot of people talk about how socialism was never implemented correctly or how it was implemented in a poor situation. No, socialism's been applied and it's failed
every
everywhere.
time. And then they try to pretend that but it's democratic socialism. It's democrat socialism. Like there's no difference. Socialism is socialism.
It's about. I mean, if you really want to look at it, it's a double-edged sword. It's not about liberties or freedoms. It actually silences that, as we see today.
Yeah, whatever you work hard for, they want to give to everyone else. They want everybody to live in the same kind of houses, to make the same kind of money, to have the same kind of things.
Yeah.
So pretty much it takes away the American dream.
I mean, well, if you look at when America was first formed, the colonies, the very first colonies back in Virginia and even in Massachusetts, Plymouth Colony, the very first colonies of settlers that came to this country actually focused on a socialist system. But you know what happened to those settlers?
What?
They starved.
Yep.
A lot of them actually starved and died because they were focusing on a communal sort of everybody's on the same level, nobody can have more than somebody else, and you have something on your own property that belongs to the whole.
Right.
And it goes against MGTOW, in a sense. If MGTOW is more about your influence of yourself and the betterment of yourself, and you can help people, you can be generous, but socialism is about mutilating and crippling everybody else to be less as a peasant class.
Well, it kills the economy, it's starvation.
Yeah.
Mass starvation, you look at Venezuela, for instance.
Oh, geez, perfect example. Venezuela.
Last year, they had people, there was no food in any stores, in any supermarkets. You had people running scoundrelling. They were eating their own cats and dogs for food. And who knows what else that they were eating? Probably rodents just to survive.
The left loves to claim that socialism is a utopian society and it's beneficial for everybody. It benefits nobody. No. I mean, there is a class. It actually creates a very small amount of people in control. Like, if you actually look at socialism that was implemented, whether you look at Karl Marx, whether you look at the early formation of the Soviet Union and the creation of communism, you look at socialism, it was also implemented in Germany through Hitler. The Nazis themselves are socialists. The Nazi stands for National Socialist Workers' Party. So it has socialism in the name, and you have members of Antifa.
Yeah, anti-fascists, which they really are fascists.
I mean, look at what they're doing.
Exactly.
They're carrying billy clubs, and they're wearing masks, and they're the new form of basically what the brown shirts were.
Yeah, and also you see what's going on with the Social Security. Social, it's a socialist...
it's a scam.
Yeah.
And it's about basically robbing money from the current generation, your work that you make now, and it strips you of your resources to basically pay off other people. And it's not so much that you can't have implementation of helping people. It's not that you can't have charities. There are charities. There's supposed to be ways of helping people, but socialism in itself has always been about manipulation, control, deception. It's if you look at how it oppresses people, like with the media. You can go ahead, Goliath, and talk about some of the stuff going on. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, it takes away socialism. That's exactly what it does, and it takes away your voice in it because there's certain rules. There's different rules as to what we have now.
Yeah.
So going to the supermarket to buy a gallon of milk won't be around because it might happen for a little bit, and then everything's going to get taken away because they're going to run out because everything's going to skyrocket.
Yeah, the price. Well, that deals with also the economy too, in a sense. But
and like socialism and the economy go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Because socialism kills the economy.
Yeah.
And also, then you have to worry about single payer health care is another form of socialist.
Which we have the debacle right now going on, and
if Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, or any Democrat was in office right now, we would be having all these socialists agendas happening, and we would be Venezuela probably within 10 years or less.
I mean,
in terms of what's happening over there, it could happen. It's not far fetched to think it won't.
of course. I mean, you look at the buying power of the U.S. dollar, and it's gotten so you cannot buy what you used to be able to buy back in the past. The value of the dollar has gone down, and this also deals with other aspects of the economy. It has to deal with inflation. It has to deal with the fact that basically the government is printing off money, and this leads to hyperinflation, and so your buying power of currency, and if you're dealing with United States currency or euros, it's less and less. And this is also more of a push with socialist ideas of trying to create a cashless society.
Yeah, they want to have everything through like a type of credit card, pretty much.
Digital currencies.
Digital currency.
Which there is a perk in it, but it shouldn't be all currencies, all facets of money, because then everything is such.
The government finds out; they'll know everything that you're doing, which they already do now in a lot of ways, sense. But everything will be listed on what you're spending money on, because there'll be no more paper. So now everything is digital, so they'll see everything that you spend, all your money, and. Like for instance, let's say you have a family member that needs to borrow $20. How do you do that now? You gotta go with them. If that was to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't agree.
Well, just the socialism in general. I mean, we're talking about like the money as an aspect and how it affects healthcare, and there's many ways of trying to have charities and organizations, but when you have government becomes too big for its own britches, it ends up influencing and encroaching on everybody's aspect of life, which, again, when you have a more of a conservative value, you focus more on your own personal liberties.
Well, yeah, that's what Socialism, you get nothing good out of it, because everything comes hand in hand with pretty much everything negative.
It's more about, I mean, even if you look at like with welfare too.
Welfare.
I mean, it's a government handout to cripple you.
Yes, that's exactly. They want you to depend on government. It's what socialism is you depending on the government. And what people got to realize is you can't depend on the government. You can't trust the government.
You need to depend on yourself.
You got to depend on yourself. It takes away so many opportunities that you can have. Like I said, if let's say you make $80,000 a year, they're gonna want to have everybody make a certain cap. There'll be a cap to what they want you to make a year. There'll be a certain thing where they want you to live a year.
I mean, they already kind of been pushing that with like the whole Occupy Wall Street movement, and it was more about because the people were upset about the bankers, and people were upset with government policies, and nobody was having a voice being heard. So it was more of it wasn't pushing to try and achieve an ends to bring about positive change. It was more about trying to push a narrative of if you have any sort of wealth or resources, socialism is against you. If you have any
it makes economic calculation impossible to try to figure out.
It's very Keynesian.
Yeah, and it's very condescending too. It's there's just so much bad. There's not anything good to get out of socialism. The way that the left tries to push their points as to, try to throw ways on why it will be, helpful.
The left has always had the sort of mentality of feels over facts, of trying to pad things.
It's immoral.
Yeah, socialism has failed everywhere it's been applied. Everywhere. If you look at Cuba, you look at Venezuela, you look at the old USSR, you look at the old Soviet bloc. I mean, everywhere socialism has been applied, and the left jumps from place to place to try and say, oh, it wasn't applied right there or not. I mean, people can comment down below if they want to and try to rebuke things, but the fact is that it's not a system that actually wants to help you. It's about... I read Animal Farm by George Orwell, and it basically goes over what socialism is in a nutshell, where you work and work and work, and kind of people already are in a way, but it's not to help you. It's to help a special group within society.
Everybody likes to be, people that are for socialism. They want to be against capitalism, obviously. But then they're they're commenting. Maybe they'll even be commenting down at the bottom on these links about why socialism is good on their iPhone, which is capitalism.
Well, I mean, and then people like to say that, oh, capitalism is like with Hitler and stuff. Well, Hitler was against capitalism.
Yeah, like Nazi. Like
he fought against it. He wanted to break it in the West. So I mean, that's as a whole, socialism it's just, we know it's wrong, but people still feel that it's okay to push it. And in schools, and especially, it's crazy how they push it. But go ahead, Goliath.
Yeah, so, I mean, all there else is there to say to this is, the left is, they have no choice but to change their way of thinking because it's not working. Because, I mean, you have a lot of people in this country that are obviously for socialism, but, I mean, there's a even stronger feel for capitalism in this country. This is what America was built on. It was built on capitalism.
Yeah, and even if you don't like something, I mean, you have the rights to do something for yourself.
Yeah, but to completely change what America has been.
Yeah.
And to make it into something that's failed everywhere. You're a communist.
Yeah, it's more of, again, it's the divide and conquer mentality of wedging the masses against people of any entrepreneurial spirit that wants to have a business for themselves.
Socialism, the bigger government, bigger everything. Take away more rights from the people.
Less liberties.
So literally, all that is what America is based on: values, rights, liberty, freedom.
And socialism takes all that away.
Socialism takes all that away.
So I mean, again, there's more that will come, obviously, in the coming episodes. Leave comments down below. We'd like to hear what you guys think about the topic. It's a free platform to post what you guys want. If you agree, disagree.
Let us know what you guys feel because we'll maybe bring it up in another video on your comments and we'll answer.
Yeah, we'll try to answer things. And again, it's not so much right or wrong. It's the fact that it's good to have a discourse and to have opinions of things. It's supposed to be an open society. You shouldn't be afraid to be.
Yeah, this isn't socialism, so you're able to.
It's not being thrown in the gulag or a concentration camp. So, but anyway, this is the Goliath and Leviathan show.
Yep, I'm Goliath, and thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We'll catch you on the flip side.